Hello friends, and welcome back to me rambling into my camera for 30 minutes. Today I'm gonna be trying something a little bit different. This week I really didn't have any time to script this video because I was hired to work as a PA for a commercial shoot. So I'm going off the cuff, very ad hoc, which means this might go one of two ways. Either I discover that, like Sarah has told me literally since I started making videos on YouTube, that I would be great just like talking into the camera, or my ADHD brain takes us all on a weird journey in which I don't make any sense. So I want to apologize right up front to my editor, my future self, and let's jump into it. For those of you new to my channel, hi, my name is Drew. I'm a person who makes stuff on the internet and talks about it a lot, and I'm also the co-founder and CEO of a company called Lumastic that makes production, planning, and collaboration software for other YouTube creators. And I've been working on this business for about 3 years. I started part-time while I was a student in college, and after I graduated, I was really fortunate to be able to go full-time thanks to savings that I had and grants from accelerator programs. And going full-time on your business is one of the big milestones, external validators for a lot of founders, creators, just entrepreneurs in general. It's something that people work for a long time to build up to before they make that leap, or in the case of a lot of startups, is something that they are pressured into taking that risk in order to show validation to VCs and accelerator programs. But something that really isn't talked about a lot, and what I want to discuss in this video because it's very relevant to my life, is when you decide to go back to being part-time on your business. When do you decide to pull back, reevaluate, and kind of take a safer, less risky approach? And I've got a lot of notes here on how I've reflected on this process, but I want to make sure to be clear that I'm not trying to be prescriptive. Being a creator and indie entrepreneur is a different experience for everyone. And so I think it's actually impossible to say, if you hit these things, then you should be full-time, part-time, whatever. It's your life, do the thing that feels good to you. So I'm gonna talk about all of these reflective questions in the context of my own experience, with the hope that my experience will be relatable to some, but with the greater purpose that I think asking the question and posing the question and that reflective exercise to everyone is the more important thing. All right, now that I got that out of the way, let me give you some context. So when I started Lumastic, I had been working as a freelancer and a part-time video producer for about 3 years. So I already had quite a bit of savings to be able to go full-time after I graduated. But on top of that, I was actually really lucky to be accepted into an accelerator program right out of school. I had a functional prototype. I had a lot of street cred because I had just come off of a national pitch competition. So I had enough validation that the director of the program took a chance on me. And at some point I'll make a video about how much of my experience running this business has been luck. But the important thing to know is that accelerator program gave me an extra $10,000 of a grant. So although I wasn't actually, I felt loaded. I had calculated that with all of this money, I could go for 18 months full-time on Lumastic. Hi friends, Editing Drew here. Something super important that I failed to mention is the fact that I had very little responsibilities coming out of college. I could be on my parents' health insurance till I was 26. I don't have kids. I'm not married. For all intents and purposes, the only thing that I was really responsible for was me. And I think that's just really important to acknowledge as we have this wider conversation about when creators and entrepreneurs should be going full-time or part-time, because it really shows that everyone's situation is unique, everyone's business is unique, and so it's really about making the decision that works best for them in their situation. Okay, cool, back to the video. And at the time I thought we will definitely be at a point where we're making money and profitable maybe by the time that 18 months runs out. Oh, how naive I was. Because at that 18-month mark, not only was I running out of money, but also a few months before that, my girlfriend, Sarah, who was supplementing a lot of our expenses, got laid off from her job. And that financial stress and strain put a lot of pressure on the business and also a lot of pressure on our relationship. And we were never worried about starving, being evicted, anything like that, because we both come from pretty affluent families in the grand scheme of it all. But it was still scary, especially as somebody who fiercely wants to be financially independent. It's been a lot to deal with. And this is part of the reason we became kind of so aggressive with the idea of raising money from venture capital. We were in this position where we felt like our product was almost there. We had some people paying us, but we need money to get to the next stage. And in a future video, I'll talk about why we decided to not raise money, but we ended up deciding to bootstrap the company entirely. Because we decided to bootstrap, all the money comes from us. There's no external cash flow to be able to go and continue to run the business. So my point here is that it's a good idea to scale back, go part-time on your business if you need money. There should be no shame in doing what you need to do to feel comfortable and secure in this risky process of building something from nothing, especially if other people in your life rely on you having an income. And I say all that, but I still feel the shame that is brought upon the entrepreneurial community and the creator community of stepping back, feeling like a failure when you've going from full-time to part-time. But I'm trying to tell myself, and I'm trying to tell you, that it's not baked in reality or smart thinking to just put that pressure pressure on yourself for absolutely no reason. So if you need money, scale back. All right, the next point I want to bring up about why I'm choosing to go part-time is to combat this feeling that you're headed towards burnout. And to make this point more clear, I want to first talk about what I think about as burnout, because I think it gets used as a term a lot. So to me, burnout is the feeling that the energy that you're putting into something is less than the energy that you're getting back out. Whether that energy be in the form of fulfillment, the feeling that you're learning something new, the feeling that you're growing, the feeling of like monetary gain, or whatever you've measured as growth and success. And I've been feeling a lot of those early signs of burnout with Lumastic. We've been in what entrepreneurial researchers call the trough of sorrow, or the Midwest of analytics, for so long that it's been really tough to keep going. And I'm fortunate that I've been able to combat that by leaning more on our team for inspiration and motivation. But still, it can get really hard to wake up and continue to keep moving when you feel like there's no end in sight to the pain of kind of just nothing working. And to talk about that a little deeper, I made a video a couple weeks ago about tying your own self-worth to your creative work. And when you do kind of like have that creative entanglement with something you're trying to build from nothing, you can start to feel like if things aren't working, then you're not working. And the point I make in the video is that that has caused me to kind of become a workaholic, like to continue to like fight and work more, which creates its own problems that accelerate you towards burnout. But in tandem, it also like really messes with your mental health to kind of start to feel like, well, if this business is kind of worthless, right? Like by all measures of kind of success, then it can feel like I'm worthless. And that has been a dangerous game. And again, I'm here to tell myself and you that it's, again, illogical. It is a very bad, dangerous, negative thought that if you are feeling, you should talk to somebody. Externalize that thought process with someone, hopefully a trained professional, so that they can read it back to you and you can see that it is untrue. So the way I've decided to combat this acceleration towards burnout and this loop of negative self-talk is to prove to myself that I am worthy by going and doing something I'm good at for someone else and get those dopamine reward hits, whether that's from money, just the feeling of validation by getting to work with other people, whatever it is for you, by just getting a job. That's part of the reason that when one of my old bosses texted me asking if I wanted to PA for this shoot, I immediately said yes without any other information because it felt really good to be called upon to do something that I feel I'm good at for people that I care about, and to have an external party say to me like, oh, Drew, you're good at stuff. Like you are worthy. Because when it's hard to control your own feelings of self-worth, it's okay to lean on those external validators and get that reminder. As creators and entrepreneurs, we are told to be courageous and confident and keep going. But I think a lot of our cultural ideas of entrepreneurship are wrapped up again in this rugged individualism and capitalistic framework, where relying on others and having a community and being vulnerable and reaching out for help is seen as bad. And that's toxic and dumb. Feeling like a total sack of garbage and telling yourself that like you are the only one that can get you to not be a total sack of garbage, so don't even ask for support from anyone, is just so stupid and bad for you. And again, I speak from my own experience. So future me, and maybe you, don't do that. Okay, the last point I want to make here about why I'm deciding to go back to being part-time on Lumastic and going and getting a job is because I don't want to quit. There are a lot of ways to measure and think about when you feel your business is successful, but there is literally one measurement that decides when it is a failure, and that's when you stop working on it. When you decide to close it, to stop the project, to let it fizzle, to give up. And I'm not trying to knock giving up. I think that that is like an important piece of like the entrepreneurial journey that we like don't discuss enough. But for me personally, I am not done with this. From the get-go, Lumastic has been a product that I want to have to help me be more organized, to work on projects with other people, and to kind of like build a community around creative work. And although it's not there yet, I still see the path to that reality and I still want it. So I'm making the decision to go get a job so that I can be financially sustainable. I can have greater clarity of thought, less stress in my life that helps me be more creative and positive, and I can alleviate all this pressure to just like work fast so that we can continue to grow strong even if we're growing slower. And I think that reflective exercise of just asking the question of, do you like this? Do you still want this to happen, right? And what can you do to make it work is really important for creators and founders and indie entrepreneurs to go through very often. And for all of us in kind of the entrepreneurial community to support whatever decision works well for that founder, their business. Because at the end of the day, I think the reason that a lot of creators and kind of indie entrepreneurs, bootstrappers, start their businesses is because they want to have something that they own that feels fun and exciting and can support them in a way that gives them autonomy and freedom to live the lives they want to lead. That's why I got into it anyway. And so listening to all of this external pressure about like whether or not I am as valid if I am part-time or full-time on our business is just completely unproductive and not valuable advice. So I hope that this video made some sense. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. I obviously am making a lot of these as just like little time capsules of my own experience trying to be a creator and building an internet business in the hopes that it helps somebody else. But I think the conversation that we can have around a lot of these topics is really invaluable, at least to me. That also being said, if you like this video and you would like to encourage me to keep going, I'm about to hit 700 subscribers. I think I'm like 3 away. So if you haven't already, click the like button and the subscribe button down below, and maybe share this video with another entrepreneur or creator that's in your life. Also, if you know anybody that wants to hire a software engineer and or video producer / content strategist, let me know. I hope you all have a great week, and until next time, thank you for watching.